Russ, overall Christmas disappointing really?
Yeah, very much so in terms of results. Yeah, performances were better, but no one's really interested in performances at the moment. It's all about results. So hoping for and needing a better January.
I saw the game here against Boreham Woods, and unusually perhaps because defensively you've been pretty good this season. To be fair, I thought the 2 goals you conceded in that one were poor, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's flipped over, hasn't it? We look like we can score every game now, creating a lot of chances, but then unlike us, conceding a lot of chances as well and conceding sloppy goals. So listen, I think every game in the month of December we believe we could have won it, but we haven't got as many points as we wanted.
On the plus side, goal on Mateo's off the mark.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent Saturday. Integrated him in the last couple of weeks, but listen, he will score goals. I thought him and Morgs second half as a two were much better than they were on Boxing Day, and that's something we've got to look at now because they are two powerful front men, and we know we need to get goals to win games.
The real frustration, even as an observer, was the contrast perhaps between the first half and the second half performance. I thought the second half you were really good. Yeah,
it was, and you know what, I could say that probably about Boreham Wood as well. You think you'd play better with the wind, but both teams play better against it, whether that's how they set up or a mentality switch, I'm not sure, but listen, we give ourselves a mate to climb being 2-0 down. We had enough chances to win 2 games on Saturday. Goalkeeper's got man of the match again, which is frustrating, but listen, no one feels sorry for you now. We've just got to get our heads down and keep grinding it out.
I thought Jack Lambert had a really good game for you.
Excellent. I thought all 4 front players second half, Ashley Hemmings, Gold, Morgs, were great. It's good to have Shane Byrne back. We look solid now as a team, and listen, we're competitive again in every game. I just hope it can swing in terms of results, because we're not getting outplayed by anyone, but not winning the games that we needed.
I know it makes absolutely no difference at all now, but if you had a chance to look back at the goal that was disallowed at the end, because even with the naked eye I couldn't see a lot wrong with that really.
No, well, there was nothing wrong with it, to be honest. As the goalkeeper was backpedaling, he fell over, and obviously with the momentum of the forward players going and heading the ball into the back of the net, you stumble over people, and I actually thought the referee gave it to start with, but for whatever reason he didn't. I think it was the easy option. But listen, again, we put ourselves in that situation where we're trailing and we need a goal, and it become pretty desperate at times, but I thought we were excellent second half, and if we can mirror that kind of performance we'll be okay, but we have to do it.
Yeah, you said it yourself really, it's frustrating, you've been in games, but results have got to come now, haven't they really?
Of course they have. Be all and end all, would rather us play poor and get wins. But you've got to start somewhere, I suppose, and listen, we've got 19 games left and we've got to win a lot of those games, and we know that, but one game at a time. Do I believe we can beat Rochdale Saturday? Yes I do, and that's all our focus is on at the moment.
It is one game at a time. It's got a look of a tough month this really, isn't it? Really, you've got some trips I think to Dagenham, you've got a trip to Hartlepool I think.
I think every month's tough. I'm not looking at league positions because everyone's fighting for something now. You might be better playing mid-table teams towards the end of the season as opposed to play-off and relegation teams. So I look at it as every team deserves to be in this league for a reason. They've all got their the pros and cons. But looking at the fixtures this week, when you've got Rochdale, Altrincham, Aldershot, all play-off based, it's a tough month, but you know what, on our day we're a tough team to play against as well, so we have to jump on the positives at the moment and believe we can win the next game.
Rochdale then, as you say, they're up next, relegated obviously last season, steadied the ship, which is the first thing to do, isn't it? You don't want to do a Scunthorpe and go straight through this division as well.
No, but I think their aim is to jump back up. I think, why wouldn't you when you're Rochdale, never been in non-league before, good team, good manager, good budget, a lot of injuries at the moment, which everyone seems to be having. But listen, I think they'll be under no illusion they want to be getting playoffs minimum this year. Went to watch them Monday, below par, which is probably a negative for us because you always get a reaction. But again, some top players in that team, ex-league players who we have to be on it again.
And of course, as I do, that when you go there, having had a below par performance on Monday, as you say, their manager's going to say, look, Harriers are bottom of the league, we've got to put it right here.
Yeah. I don't know if they watch us and what they think. I don't care, to be honest. We've got to focus on ourselves, how we start games. The first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of each half is majorly important. Something we've really struggled with in the last 2 months. We've got to focus on ourselves. We've got to go there with the mentality that we can win the game, and I believe we can.
You've obviously identified that as being an issue, the first 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes. What can you do to address that then? Is it all about focus and attention?
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be. Listen, you can only have so many motivational speeches and getting the lads up to speed. But it's the player itself has to come through that. Just like the other day with the wind, you can't practice those situations. You just have to have a mentality to deal with it. So listen, I try to go off my experience of how you promote the first 5 minutes and how you want to settle into the game. But at the end of the day, when the player crosses the line, it's down to them.
At that point, as you say, when they cross the line, you're limited what you can do. Do you rely on your senior players then on the field, getting into that last 5 minutes, say, right, come on, keep your focus, keep your attention?
I think that's what it comes big with experience. Don't get me wrong, but listen, every player's out there for a reason. We've got some young players out there because they've got good know-how, good legs. So listen, we're not talking about idiots here. We're talking about professional footballers who know it's a 95-minute match, and we've got to be on it at all time. Concentration levels are the biggest, and probably the lower you go down in the pyramid, the worse it becomes. So that's why the top players are paid the money they are.
Got some comings and goings and extensions, as they say. Ryan McLean, first of all, he's gone back to AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, I'd like to thank him for his services. And he played a lot of games in a short space of time for us, but we're just going in a different direction. Spoke to Ryan, good pro, and I really hope he can break into the Wimbledon first team. So nothing but positive words about Ryan, really.
On the plus side, Bailey Hobson will be with you for a while longer.
Yeah, he's been excellent, and Chesterfield totally understand the situation. They're flying. They'd rather him be playing for us than on the bench or not in the squad for them. So he ticks a lot of boxes for that. Bailey's been one of our main players this season. His energy and his grittiness has been fantastic, and he's got quality as well. Just want to see a few more goals and a few more shots from him now. Now he's playing in an advanced position.
Presumably you're going to have to make decisions on one or two more loan players in the next few weeks.
In terms of going out or coming in?
No, in terms of the ones you've got on loan, whether they're extended or whether they go back.
Yeah, listen, I think the shirt's there for, we're bottom of the league, and everyone's is in the squad to get in that first team. There's no settled squad at the moment. We're trying to find that magic formula, but at the end of the day, the shirts are up for grabs, and listen, if a player really wants to be here and fight for his place with the quality I know they've got, they'll play. And
you're going to bring in another player, Owen Hesketh. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great find for us. We've seen Owen for the last 2 or 3 years. He's probably their most longest serving 23s player at the Wolves. So come up here a lot. Good player, good forward player, wide player, in behind the front man. Good energy and good experience really for where he's at. Hasn't played this level, so again, it's. Will he hit the ground running, or will he take a little bit of time? One thing I do know is he's fit. He's fit as anything, and he's chomping at the bit to play first team football.
And that is the beauty of having Wolves under 23s play here. Presumably you can run the ball over a few of them.
Yeah, and they because we're so local, they come down, they watch us, train. We've got a good relationship with them. I'd like to thank Steve Davis for getting this over the line, because usually they kind of dismiss the non-league teams, but Steve, knowing the level well, managed at the level. He's fully aware of what perks you can get from these kind of loans.
And final point on that, obviously having seen him is a big advantage, because I think you alluded to this after the Boreham Wood game here. It can be a bit of a gamble. You're not in a position now where you can have people you're taking a punt over. You need to know they can adapt to first team football at this level.
Of course you do. And listen, it might not work for him. 90% of first time loans don't, but that 10% is bang on, and we're hoping we can get that 10%. And we've watched Owen 10, 20 times now. He's good enough to play for our team, but he's got to prove he's right for the shirt and ready for a relegation scrap.
Very last point, injury news ahead of the weekend. How are you looking?
Yeah, very good, thank you, very good. Apart from the long term, Nat and Joe, everyone else should be fit and available.
And what's the latest on those two?
Just again, another week ticked off from the last time I spoke to you, so 5, 6, 7 weeks respectively. So listen, one thing I do know is that they are both top pros, and they'll try and get back ASAP. If they can be back fit and ready to play and we're still in the mix, fantastic.